So today we're going to look at multiplying radicals, which is not super difficult. It's a lot like simplifying. You just have one extra step at the beginning. Okay, so what we're going to do is multiply like parts. Okay, and what I mean by that when I say like parts, I consider it to be like the stuff in the front, your coefficients. Those are like one part that are alike. And then the stuff that's on the inside, the radicands, that's the other part that's alike. Okay, so for this first problem, what I'm going to do is the 3 and the 5. Those are alike because they're both coefficients. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply those to 15. And that's going to go in the front part of my answer. And then I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 6 together to get 12. And that's going to go on the inside of my radical. So I've got 15 times the square root of 12. Okay, and then what we're going to do from there is now we're just going to go ahead and simplify this just like we've been doing. So I'm going to ignore the 15 for now and focus on that 12, and we're going to birthday cake it. Okay, so I'm starting with 12, and I want to divide by prime numbers. So let's see, I'm going to start with 2. 2 goes into 12 6 times. I can use 2 again, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. And then I can use 3, which goes into itself once. I've got a pair of 2s here. So what I'm going to have for my answer is I'll have a 2 on the outside, the leftover 3 on the inside, and then don't forget to take this 15 and bring that down as well. Okay, and then I'm just going to multiply the numbers on the outside. So 15 times 2 is 30. So my answer is 30 times the square root of 3. Okay, so it's really not much more than just regular simplifying. It's just kind of that one extra step at the beginning. All right, so let's look at the second one. So this guy, we're going to multiply these. We want to multiply our like parts, and I've got a 4 and a negative. Okay, and just like always, you can assume that's a negative 1, right? There's a little invisible 1 there. So 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. And then 18 times 2 is 36. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and birthday cake that. So I'm ignoring the number in the front. I'm going to take the 36 and birthday cake that. So 2 is prime, and I know 2 goes into that, right? I did 2 times 18 to get here. So I know that that's going to give me 18. So that was kind of a nice cheat. Let's see, 2 goes into that 9 times. Right, 3 goes into 9 3 times, and then 3 goes into itself once. All right, I got a pair here and a pair here, and there's actually no numbers left over on this one. So what my answer is going to look like is I'm going to have the negative 4 from up here, right? I'm going to have the 2 from that first pair, and then the 3 from the last pair, and then there's nothing to go inside the radical. So I'm just going to ignore that part. I don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to multiply these 3 numbers together. So that's going to work out to negative 24. So this one worked out to a whole number. Okay, so anytime you have a radical, right, where you have 2 pairs, that's fine. It just means that if all you have is pairs and there's no leftover numbers, it just means your radical will go away. Okay, and if you notice 36, that's actually a perfect square. If you check your chart, the square root of 36 is just 6, right? So 2 times 3 is 6. That's where we got. All right, so if you noticed at the beginning that 36 is the perfect square, you can save yourself a couple of steps. But if you don't notice, that's where you're going to end up. All right, and this last one here, so I have to multiply 8 times 12. There's no numbers in front, so I don't have to worry about those. 8 times 12 is 96. And then I'm going to go ahead and birthday cake that. So let's see, I noticed that 3 goes into those, right? Because 3 goes into both of those numbers. So 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 6 twice. All right, and then let's see, I can put 2 into that. That's going to be 16. 2 goes into 16 8 times. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 4 2 times, and then 2 goes into itself once. This one's a really tall birthday cake. So let's see, here's a pair, and I got a leftover 2 and a leftover 3. So for my answer, I'm going to have 2 2s on the outside for my 2 pairs, And on the inside, I'm going to have a 3 and a 2 from my leftover numbers. And then to simplify that, I'm just going to go ahead and multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. And there we go. That's our answer. Okay, so multiplying radicals is really not much more complicated than simplifying. You just have that one extra step at the beginning where you multiply the parts that are alike.